Congressman Tancredo, that Karl Rove question, do you have an interest in answering that one?
Yeah, well, Karl Rove would certainly not be in the White House that I inhabited. We have had our differences for quite some time, specifically on the issue of immigration and my criticism thereof. And as a matter of fact, this is as close as I've ever been to Air Force One.
Well, by the way, this isn't still the Air Force One. You've been that far away from it.
Air Force One, exactly.
Mayor Giuliani, I have to ask you the next question. Has the increased influence of Christian conservatives in your party been good for it?
Sure. The increased influence of large numbers of people are always good for us. I'd like to go back to the earlier question that you asked, because I think it really is important that we, define the Republican Party to fit today. And neither party has a monopoly on virtue or vice. That's just a fallacy that we sometimes fall into. And if we're going to win and we're going to govern after we win, we have to reach out, bring in Democrats, bring in independents. I ran a city that was 5-1 Democratic, and I was able to, according to George Will, I ran the most conservative government in the last 50 years in New York City. Reduced crime, reduced welfare, balanced the budget, lowered taxes 23 times.
Mr. Mayor,
and I had 45 Democrats and I think 6 Republicans.
Okay. Governor Thompson, same question. Well, actually, you can respond to just about anything at this point.
Well, Chris, then I will. I'm the reliable conservative. I vetoed 1,900 things. I reduced taxes by $16.5 billion. I'm from Wisconsin, a blue state, and I won 4 consecutive times. I still have a very high popularity appeal, and I'm the one that started welfare reform, reduced welfare caseload in the United States and the state of Wisconsin by 93%. And I believe that kind of a record will attract Democrats and independents if you stand up and start talking on principles and ideas. Where I think the Republican Party lost its way is we went to Washington to change Washington. Washington changed us. We forgot to be coming up with new ideas, big ideas like Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan had an optimism and a belief that America could be stronger and better tomorrow than it is today. And he instilled that and inculcated that in every American. That's what we have to do as a party again.
Thanks, Governor. John.
Senator Brownback, Jack Abramoff, Mark Foley, Duke Cunningham in prison for bribes. Just last month, FBI raids of 2 Republican members of Congress. What's with your party and all this corruption?
And there are also Democrat members that there was cash found in refrigerators or deep freezes. I think you have to look at the overall situation and system and say these people are wrong and they should go to jail, and they are going to jail. And they would go to jail under my administration. But I think you also have to back up and ask, we as a society, what we can do to build stronger families and build a stronger culture as well. We need to have laws to enforce these systems, and we as leaders need to live by those laws as well. But we need to back up as a society. We need to rebuild the family structure in this country. We've got 36% of our children born out of wedlock. We've got a culture that's got things like what Don Imus said going on, not only on the radio, now it's in records that are being marketed to teenagers with $1 million ad budgets using the same words that he was fired for. I mean, what I would hope to do is to lead by example, lead ethically, lead in rebuilding the family, and in renewing the culture.
Congressman Tancredo, you want to respond to that question that John put about these serious problems of ethics violations?
Yeah, well, they are not unique to the Republican Party. These are failures by individuals, and it's important to understand that, and they should, of course, be dealt with. Let me also please, because I haven't had enough opportunity, I shouldn't say enough, but certainly an opportunity to address some of these other issues, especially with regard to whether or not it has to be a centrist who wins the presidency of the United States. Look, we're standing in a place dedicated to a man who we would not call a centrist, who was able to win this state. He was also able to win the presidency twice. Why? Because he believed in principles, he articulated them, and he put them into effect. He had heart. We know it. We saw it. The American people saw it, and they respected that. I believe it's not necessarily whether you're a centrist or not. I believe it's whether or not you believe in your heart in the things that you say, and I do.